And getting back children into the classroom safely is the focus of tonight's 7 UpFront segment. The governor is encouraging school districts to reopen their doors to in-person learning by March, but there's that political battle between her office and Senate Republicans in particular over billions of federal dollars to help districts during the pandemic. Joining me now is Mark Greathead, the superintendent of Woodhaven Brownstown Schools. He's also president of the K-12 Alliance. Mark, thank you for being here tonight.
Thank you very much for having me.
Let's begin with the K-12 Alliance's call for leaders from both sides of the aisle to work on solutions that will benefit students at this crucial time. Given this political divide in our state right now, are you at all confident that will happen? And what's your message to the governor and legislators tonight?
I have to be confident that it's going to happen. Nothing is more important than the well-being of our children. And if they can't see that, I don't know where we go. Funding so that we can begin to address the learning loss for our students, the social emotional needs of our students and our staff. We need funding for that, and we need it without political gamesmanship.
Let's talk about that difficulty, the education, the learning in the face of this pandemic, remote learning, some in class, starts and stops. How much are our children being hurt by this?
That has been tremendously detrimental to our students. Many school districts have had choices, and with in-student or in-person learning, other school districts are doing remote learning. But when you have something unexpectedly taken away from you, you don't know when it's going to come back, and you don't know when it's going to be taken away again. And that's how our students are feeling right now.
We've heard of the frustration of some teachers as it relates to vaccination, difficulty trying to get a COVID-19 vaccination. Should that be a requirement for in-person learning to return? What's the K-12 Alliance's position on the vaccinations for teachers and staff?
Well, we're pleased that teachers and staff were made a priority in terms of receiving the vaccination, being included in the Phase 1B group. It's been over 3 weeks now since the governor announced that Phase 1B vaccinations would be available. And so what our employees need and what our staff needs is a comprehensive plan to administer those vaccinations. Because up until now, it's just been a matter of luck and some patience, but mostly luck in terms of finding a way to get a vaccination at this point.
And how about safety protocols in place? What else is going to be needed in the classrooms for students, for teachers, for staff before in-person learning in most districts returns?
Yeah, what we've seen in terms of the safety protocols that were put in place, that districts that chose to bring students in person from the start of the school year, the safety protocols work. Schools are not the outbreak centers for the coronavirus as they were feared. Students and staff are practicing good hygiene practices. They're wearing their masks. They're practicing social distancing. So those things are in place. And with those things in place, that's how we can safely have our students back in school.
How about the potential of summer school and classes as a means of trying to catch up maybe on some of the losses that students have faced here?
Sure. There needs to be a multitude of modalities in terms to addressing the loss. It's going to have to be sustained and take place over an extended period of time. It will need to be accessible for all students, all grades, and all subjects. And it's going to have to be meaningful for those students so that they can demonstrate their learning at a time and place and pace that is best for them.
Well, we can all feel for teachers, staff, and most particularly those students who are missing out on so much as a result of this pandemic. We hope that a return to in-person learning does go successful. Mark, we appreciate the time tonight and your input on these important issues.
All right. Well, once again, thank you for having me. Have a great evening.
Thank you. You as well.